One of the challenges we face is the ability to think beyond great projects, because successful projects are incredibly appealing. They provide great stories, like the Tao. But in celebrating projects, we can't lose sight of our goal of systemic change. We still have to ask, can this project be scaled? Can it drive transformative change? The answers matter because ultimately, development needs to be about ending the need for assistance in the first place. As I said at the outset, we look at our progress through the prism of individual lives. So we take a program like Cotton in Africa, and it's reaching hundreds of thousands of farming families, which is wonderful. But the cost per farmer is actually high. And cotton is a cash crop, which isn't suitable for every place. We're going to help a huge number of people with that project, and it's very important. But the real question is, will we be able to scale it to tens of millions? We're counting on places like Brookings to keep insisting on intellectual rigor, to ask the hard questions, and make sure development resources stay focused on more expanded, long-term change. A second challenge is ensuring we're acting in the needs and desires of those we serve. It sounds obvious, but given how far away we are in Seattle and here in DC, it's easy to lose this connection. Successful businesses actually devote resources to getting to know their customers. Fortune magazine recently had an article about Procter & Gamble researchers spending weeks, quote, in the jungles of Brazil, the slums of India, and the farms and villages in rural China, end quote, visiting people in their homes, learning about their daily routines, asking about their aspirations, gaining clearer understanding of their needs. P&G aims to serve what they call the $2 a day customer. We're in a very different line of work, of course, but there's a lot that we can learn from that approach. If we want our program to have big impact, we need to know our customers too, to seek their input, be open to their insights, and to listen and learn from them. When we do that, it can lead us in promising directions that we've never anticipated. In our work with financial services for the poor, at first when we started, we focused on credit. But then in a couple of our grants, we were teaming savings services too. And we were surprised to see that the demand for savings was actually higher than the demand for credit. So we dug deeper. We funded research on how poor people manage their money, asking families to keep financial diaries over a period of time. And what we learned was that the very poor live incredibly complex financial lives, often relying on a multiple of approaches, from sending money to relatives for safekeeping to paying a money guard to hold their cash. As a result, we're focusing on savings tools, like the mobile money technology I referred to. Listening carefully helped us, indeed forced us, to question our own assumptions and open a new opportunity to spark improvements in millions of people's lives. Another challenge, and perhaps the most acute here in Washington, D.C. today, is development funding. The question of ensuring funding is adequate and that funding goes against effective work is a problem that is front and center for us at the Foundation and all of us who work on these issues. The problem is actually a complicated one. When I joined the Foundation 10 years ago and began our advocacy work, I made a rule. When speaking about funding, no one at the Foundation should ever say more funding without saying the phrase more effective funding. And I think that's even more important today.